Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and here's some of the top stories we have for you tonight. A young man is shot and killed on St. Croix. The fire extinguisher victim dies in Florida. And our tribute to Police Week continues. These stories and more are up next on News Channel 8. In our top story tonight, a 27-year-old man was shot and killed in the Paradise section of St. Croix early today. News Channel 8 was the first on the scene as usual.
We are directly in back of Evelyn Williams School in Paradise, and State Paradise. I'm here with Deputy Police Chief Hal. It's around, I believe, around 9 o'clock or so, yes, and News Channel 8 just got the calls within the last hour. Deputy Chief, what do we have here, sir?
Well, this morning, approximately 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m., units were dispatched here behind Evelyn Williams for a report of a disturbance in progress. Eventually, a call came in that there was a discharge and a shot. The officers that arrived on the scene began combing the area, and they did find the body of a 27-year-old male, Hispanic male. His body was lifeless with obvious injuries to the body. At this time, we are trying to locate his next of kin. And hopefully we will be able to do that here in short order. We do have another homicide. I'm saddened to report, but we are working it, and we have considerable leads at this time, and our investigators are, as you can see behind me, are feverishly trying to run down those leads as we speak.
We had heard some reports that a man was taken into custody. Do you have any suspects in custody at this time?
At this time, we do not have any suspects in custody.
Is there anyone the public should be looking out for? Any description of did they have a car or any motives, or was there a shootout, anything at all?
Well, we don't believe it was a shootout. As far as motives go, we're not going to comment on motives at this time. Certainly, the investigators very early on have developed a theory about this case. However, we don't want to tip our hand to the investigation. As far as suspect information, it's very early in the investigation, of course, and if we get additional things that we feel the public needs to be aware of, we will make them available to them by day's end.
Deputy Chief, is the body still here on the scene, and is it in the bushes there?
Yes, the body is in the bushes, deep in the bushes behind us, and it still is on the scene. The forensic units are still processing the scene, and we will continue to do so for quite a while this morning.
Some neighbors here around the scene, Deputy Chief, have been complaining to officials at Evelyn Williams and also government officials that they wanted this area removed, that was too close to the school and to the children. And also criminal activity in the early morning hours and late night hours are going on in there. Are there anything in there besides a body? Any signs of like criminal activity in there?
Well, I've walked through the scene. I can tell you that there are some stables in there, and of course we have some horses in back of us. I think that people utilize it for that purposes. For those purposes, I don't know that I personally haven't received any complaints about this area, but I can tell you that there's other areas on St. Croix that we're addressing similar complaints, areas close to schools or in some cases housing areas.
Is this on school property, sir?
I do not know at this time.
Okay, where the boundaries are.
We'll need to research that. It may be public land, or it could very well be privately owned property that's someone has set up their stables, and I just can't comment on that at this time.
Understood. All right, if you're just joining us, Deputy Police Chief Hal and his crew, the forensic unit, investigators, detectives alike. Unfortunately, we have another homicide, 27-year-old Hispanic male. They're trying to get the next of kin right now. We have reports of at least one shot that was fired around 7 o'clock. That's what neighbors say. And this case is definitely under investigation. The body is over there in the bushes. And we are in back of Evelyn Williams School. And also, this is a State Paradise. If you know anything about this crime, then you should call 911-778-2211 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS. In a State Paradise, we have another homicide. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
And the news just gets worse. 58-year-old Iota Martin died yesterday, just a few days after she was brutally assaulted with a fire extinguisher. It was allegedly at the hands of her ex-husband, Timothy Rodney. Here at News Channel 8, we've decided to wear our purple ribbons as a show of the support for our fallen sisters who have become victims of domestic violence. News Channel 8's Wes Small is at the final resting place.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. I have a ribbon over my heart today. My heart is very sad and heavy for our sisters in the Caribbean. I'm talking about domestic violence. I'm going to share something with you today that I haven't shared with the public before. First of all, I want to tell you why I'm here. I'm at Kings Hill Cemetery, and I'd like to ask for a moment of silence. I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for what happened on April 23rd, when Miles David allegedly killed his own niece, 40-year-old Lorraine Joseph, and then turned the gun on 19-year-old Alora Tutine, who is carrying her 4-month baby girl. I stand here because this is Kings Hill Cemetery, and these are the two graves that these two ladies will be placed in, and of course along with the 4-month-old baby girl. I stand here and I ask for a moment of silence at Kings Hill Cemetery so that we can just take a step back and see what's going on in our situation, in our territory. There is no place for domestic violence. There is help for you. How many other women in back of me have fallen to domestic violence? How many people in general have just fallen to violence in back of me? And then they'll be waiting for another fallen sister, won't they? They'll be waiting for 58-year-old Iota Martin. She just succumbed to her injuries yesterday from being assaulted from her ex-husband. This is her picture before the assault. And this is her after the assault. And this reporter has been criticized for showing this picture of her being hooked up to ICU. But I want to tell you that News Channel 8 did not sneak into the hospital and take these pictures, that the family gave us these pictures to show you, the public, the effects of domestic violence. And I'm taking it a notch further today. I'm telling you that I am a victim of domestic violence as well. That my father repeatedly brutalized my mother. Not to the point of death, because when I reached a certain age, those brutal beatings came to a halt because I would defend my mother's life to the death. We didn't have the Women's Coalition in the 60s and early 70s. We certainly didn't have all the community programs that can help you to stop these tragedies. That's why there's no excuse for domestic violence. But my mom still had to suffer mental abuse after the physical abuse. See, so it's all of us that are being affected by domestic violence. And that's why I do these stories, these heart-wrenching stories, with such feeling. So now we await our fallen sisters. But they won't be alone. No, because they have lots of company here for victims who have fallen to domestic violence and violence alone. No one should put their hands on another human being. No one. And there is no excuse for domestic violence. The Women's Coalition and women in general did not tell me to put this ribbon over my heart. The minute News Channel 8 choose to do this, to show you that there still are upstanding men in this community that don't reach to an animalistic level and harm our loved women. I am so sorry that you women have to experience this wave of domestic violence. So I just ask for a moment of silence. I just ask that we can repair ourselves so that we can get back to what this place is, paradise. And it's my home. At Kings Hill Cemetery, how many more will fall victim to deadly violence? I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.